Welcome to Voices Amped. I'm Ellie Clark.
And I'm Vanessa Becker Weig.
And we are your hosts. Today we have Emma Grace Imes, Emma Becker, and Rowen Haigh here with us to talk about Bodies Amped, our project that is fast approaching. We have been meeting, is it 6 months?
A little over 6 months, actually. I think we're at the 7-month point.
So we've had the opportunity to interview several of our participants, but we are nearing the end to our final 2 meetings. We are recording dances. We are recording solo pieces. And so we wanted to invite 3 more of our artists on to talk about their experience with the Bodies Amped process, our virtual moving anthology. Emma Becker, will you tell us how you came to be involved with the project?
So I am Vanessa Becker Weig's daughter. I have been involved with this program since the inception. So I was in the inaugural class of the Girl Project back in, the performance was in 2014. So I've kind of grown up with this project. That was my senior year of high school. And then I helped out with a bunch of different aspects of it. I have been so excited to be a part of this adult female experience because it's so different transitioning from being, a teenage girl coming into adulthood. So I'm 25 now and just having so much fun being a part of this project and watching it grow.
And just to clarify, we started with you in 2012, Emma, and you were part of the 2013 performance, actually.
I was. Yeah, no, you're correct. That was, because it was the beginning of my senior year. So you were correct. So it was actually, 9 years ago that the performance was, but we started 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Crazy. Whew. Rowen, our longtime friend and collaborator, how did you come to be a part of Bodies Amped?
Osmosis, maybe. Meet like liminal meetings of minds. I participated specifically with Voices Amped in 2019, I think, as a director. Yes. Mm-hmm. And you all were folks who I'd known tangentially, and like I'd known your names and whatnot, but I got to kind of meet you as a group and as a leadership cohort and learn more about the mission of the work that you were doing and be involved in that showcase project, which was incredibly satisfying. And I got to work on a great play called Barbie There's a House Party as a director, which I adored. Vanessa and I worked together a little bit at another theater until COVID made bad things happen and shows close. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of in the world with you all when this opportunity came across my inbox, and I was like, damn, I will. Well, okay, it was more like a damn, oh God, okay. Because I'm not a performer. I don't super care for it. It makes me very uncomfortable. But it's something I try to make myself do every few years because I think it's very good for directors to know what it's like to perform. And also I do a lot of arts admin work, and I wanted to do something that was specifically creative for myself and not affiliated with other companies that I help run.
So interesting, right? Because your father is a theater professor. My mother is a theater teacher. Emma Becker's mom, Vanessa Becker, is here as the generational inheritance.
The legacy.
The legacy
of theater.
Emma Grace. We have 2 Emmas here. Emma Grace, how did you get involved with Bodies Amped?
I was super bummed I wasn't creating art. I was working at Hot Topic at the time. I was just like, wow, I need to be involved in a project. I need to be doing something. So I went on Facebook and I saw this and you're looking for people. And I was like, ooh, I'm a dirty little feminist. And sounds like a dirty little feminist thing. I'm going to crawl in there. And then I crawled in there. Now you got me.
We're all dirty little feminists.
I love it. That should be our new tagline.
Yeah.
Bodies and dirty little feminists.
Well, it's
No, that's the spin-off project where we have a band.
Where we
Have a
keep
band.
meeting Rogue. I'm most interested in this process for you. I know that the initial plan for Bodies Amped was to be in a space, and I was going to be this weird virtual Atlanta included person, and Shamara might be a little virtual person, but our participants were mainly going to be in person. And then we, on the Corona Coaster, had to pivot, like everybody's pivoting constantly. So what has the experience been for you, frustrations and all, of trying to learn choreography in reverse, mirror facing dancers in burlesque and ballet, and developing solo pieces, and the experience of showing up once a week with female identifying artists and trying to share, or successfully sharing, our stories, and maybe write some dirty little feminist words on a page? What has that been like?
I know for me, learning choreography was very difficult because I like to watch and make sure that I'm on the right foot, and not having it like perfect is very difficult because the way that Zoom works, like it gets flipped around so odd. But I will say the Zoom platform, at least for me, made it more like accessible and easier to be vulnerable because I was in my own space. So I have a lot of issues with just being anxious, moving or creating or improvising in front of other people, like in the same group. I know our first workshop that we had was with Laura Wilson, who is now a member of the project, but that was a very difficult workshop because she asked us to do some improv in the space, and some of the artists that were in there I had already done things with, but others I hadn't. And being vulnerable in a space and being asked to move your body in a certain way it's very difficult for me. And so it's been almost more freeing being able to do it in the space. And I feel like we've also, I won't speak for everyone, but at least on my end, I've felt a cool connection with everyone else because we've been able to like see inside each other's personal space without actually physically being there. So that's been really, really cool. I have been in just a weird headspace for writing. So I've really connected with the movement, all of the movement. Burlesque was my absolute favorite. Like, I want to do that. I just want to keep doing it. It's so fun. And
such a proud mother moment for me.
okay, but let's be real. It was your favorite too, right?
Yeah, it was.
Exactly, like mother, like daughter. I'm very excited to share with the community that we've created, as well as the community outside that ends up seeing this project. I'm very excited to share the legacy piece that Vanessa and I have created, sharing motherhood and what that can look like, as well as just like the female journey with having children, and inheriting certain things from your parents. So that's been really, really cool getting to share that with her, because we are the only, mother-daughter duo in this group this year. So
yeah.
I first it was just showing up and doing the dances and stuff, and then we had that day of insects, and I just started thinking about bones, and then I just had to write about bones. And I think both of my solo pieces so far center around skeletons in some way or another. So first I was like really stuck, and then I just like went back to the presence. Bodies, what's about my body? I'm freaked out about bones. So bones, that's been my process.
Emma Grace has been my process. No, I say that jokingly, but also not jokingly, right? Like, here, this has been a really satisfying and difficult experience. And I think that's kind of sometimes inherent in this type of creation process, because while there is structure, there's also a lot of freedom. Yeah. So it's like, there are so many options. What do I do? But being able to be in it with other people and, knowing that we're all in that space of, well, got to make a decision of some kind. Okay. All right. Like what's it going to be? And knowing that it doesn't have to be the right one. Yes. And that it can be an experiment, it can be an exploration, it can be following an interest and see where it goes, and influence each other, sometimes just naturally, and sometimes with a lot of intention, like having the instructions to kind of pull different elements from different people's pieces as we're creating our own, so that there is a very specific shared vocabulary. Mm-hmm. That's been a really, really cool part for me. And like Emma Grace's response to like, what do I do? What do I do? Bones, body, like bodies, bones, right? My response has been, what do I do? What do I do? What are other people doing? Oh, okay, cool. And get a little bit of foundation and direction from that. I think I share with Emma Becker and with many of the group, I think a little bit of a love-hate relationship with choreography. I took like formal dance maybe for like a month when I was 6. Like I took a ballet class, and that was the last like move your body in this way type of dance class I ever took, like first and last. And then in college, I did a lot of contemporary dance and that sort of stuff. So like that's my happy place of like, I can move and I've got a body and it does stuff and I love moving. But you say, move this part of you now and then move this other part of you, like, what do I do? I don't understand. I don't know if you all know, but this was like every like choreography based part of it was like me coming face to face with one of my demons. Every time. And I had to just be like, all right, demon, like we're just gonna, like it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I am not gonna worry about doing it right. Like I am gonna do the best I can, and I'm gonna try to have fun. And if they want to fire me, they can fire me, but I didn't really think you wanted to fire me. Yeah. But just having the opportunity to do that, and I don't know, we don't have a lot of safe spaces in which to confront things that scare us. Mm-hmm. So that was a really cool opportunity, and something, in the moment, I might have been kind of annoyed, but fundamentally, I kind of liked it.
What's incredible about it, Rowen, is that I've enjoyed watching you work through that process and see what comes out at the other end, because you're such a stunning mover. Like
you're a beautiful mover. Yeah, I feel like the entire group watching back, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
So
and I think all of us are.
Yeah, for sure.
I love watching, the little bits of the like video process that I've seen so far, and just like being in the virtual space with people it's like, look at all these humans doing amazing things with these like forms that we have. So cool.
And I was going to say, Rowen, what's so interesting about what you just said about, not knowing what to do when you're being told to, put one body part in one space, is I am the complete opposite. So I get told, okay, we're going to improvise here. Like we have several of our choreographed dances where at the end or at the beginning, there's like some improvisation. And when we say that, I like panic. I'm like, I have no clue what I'm supposed to do here. So that's what's really interesting about this, is that I know that there are people that are like me, but there are also a couple people that are like Rowen. So it's really cool, like getting to see us all collaborate and be vulnerable and be willing to do something that we're not necessarily super comfortable with doing. Because I know when it comes to devising and making stuff up on the spot, I freak out. But I feel so comfortable in choreography and being told exactly where I need to be.
Oh yeah. Sides of the coin, man. Sides of the coin.
Yep.
And even talking about writing solo pieces, or like, what are other people doing? And, you know, showing up some nights and being like, I didn't understand the assignment, so I'm going to watch, or I didn't understand the assignment, so this is what you get. And then, you know, we develop an assignment from there, because that was like, oh, that should have been the assignment, or that was great. But it's so hard to get to these final stages, because sweet, sweet, lovely, brilliant Emma Grace was like, I'll do the OBS recording and put something together. And I'm just, you know, I'm like, oh, can we represent the beauty of these people in space together in a documentary that we never intended to make, right? It's like, now we need a video editor. We need somebody to record and edit choreography in 20 different spaces. We need, and the final product, I'm like, it'll never do justice to some of the beautiful experiential things I've seen in the room.
I'm curious, Rowen, as a director, have you found, I wonder if we share any experience in, I have pushed myself in some ways that I have expectations of people who I direct, you know, and so in this room, I have found myself, you know, wanting to back off of certain things, and then stepping back and being like, now, wait a minute. You ask people all the time to, you know, you set up these parameters and create under these parameters. Did you have any discovery moments like that for yourself?
The biggest thing for me is in like the stuff I've been trying to create solo wise is finding the balance between like emotional vomit and content. You know, like, is this just, you know, self-indulgent, or is this like content that is personal and intentional, but also you know, framed and with objective artistic merit? And I mean, golly, right, like that's a big old Pandora's box of like, well, what is that? When I'm directing, definitely working with actors to find the balance between, all right, yes, bring yourself, bring your whole self. And you know, one of my like hallmarks as a director is that I'm like, oh, right, yeah, remember, we're all people, and we're creating a human-based, like time-based art. So trying to like erase the person and like just do the play doesn't work, like to me, in my mind. But you also can't bring your baggage. Like you gotta put your baggage at the door. So like as a creator performer, how do I do that when I'm also writing really specifically from personal embodied experience, like not just my intellectual feels, but like my body feels. That's vulnerable in a different way, I think. So yes, I don't have an answer, but I have a struggle. Put it that way.
Yeah,
maybe
that makes sense.
This may sound like, if people are leaving their luggage at the door, I mean, make like a really nice coat room, you know? Like I feel like there's a good balance with that, because like before we like go in, we're like, how's life? And it's like, and then we go on.
Yeah, and what's interesting is all of this content isn't from an outside source. So this content was erected from our baggage. Right?
Yes.
We're like, what haunts you? What's your legacy? What's your inheritance? When have you been a warrior? When have you been taken to your knees? Like, we're asking all the tough questions, and it is about us. So that struggle of, am I creating something constructive through this healing journey, which we ask of our Girl Project girls all the time. And then we have, female identifying adults in the room. And no matter what stage, there's so much going on. Speaking of legacy, inheritance, age, different age groups, Emma Becker and Emma Grace Imes, what has it been like as the youngest participants in the space to be in a group of women spanning 50 years, starting at your age to 50 years older? Has there been any unique experience with that, or has it just felt like people in a room creating?
The project I did right before the pandemic was also an all-female feminist fun time, and I was also the youngest in the cast. So the cycle forever repeats. And I've just always been the baby. It's just my nature. I'm just a professional baby. So yeah, it's been good. Y'all have been very great. I feel like with this, I'm taken more seriously than usually, which is very nice. I like that. Yeah, that's all. I'm used to being baby.
Did we just create your 6-word bio? Big baby, dirty feminist, bag of bones.
Bag of bones.
I think we just that's 7, but close. We're trying to get a 6-word bio for all of us. Thank you for that, Emma Grace.
I know for me, I struggled a little bit, and it was nothing that had to do with the participants. It was just me in my own head because I'm insecure about things. But because this was a lovely, like, open environment, I struggled because there were some topics that were talked about that I felt like I could not relate to or speak on because I haven't experienced it yet. Just where there is like a few of the women that are around the same age or around the same, I don't even want to say like the same timeline of their life, but they've had shared experiences that I have not experienced yet. So there were some times that it was difficult, and I didn't feel like I could have a voice in the topic, just where I hadn't experienced anything like that before. There's also the added just awkwardness of being in a project like this with your mom, when there's difficult or private topics, but we're pretty open about things, so it wasn't too bad. Yeah, and just I was so inspired being around all of these amazing, incredible humans that have lived so much life and had so many experiences that I could learn from. So it was a mix of being difficult because I was in my own head, and there's a whole other aspect of being Vanessa's daughter, which she and I have talked about a lot, that's difficult. And the fact that I, for many people's eyes, will always be seen as a child, because I'm Vanessa's daughter and grew up in the theater and stuff. So there's a few people in the project that have known me since I was very, very young. So just getting out of my head and being like, they all know I'm an adult now. They all know that I'm going through things.
Everybody's going to see this burlesque dance, and they're going to know.
That is not a child.
I love that burlesque dance. My favorite.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Emma. In rapid fire, each person answer What was your favorite dance, Vanessa?
It actually was the West African dance that I didn't get to end up filming.
Because Vanessa has COVID and she's here. Yeah, the West African dance was amazing. Emma Becker, burlesque.
Burlesque, but I will say my favorite like workshop, even though I was sick that day, but I still watched and participated in bar, but ballet was my favorite workshop.
Rowen?
Belly dance.
It was beautiful you doing that belly dance. Emma Grace?
West African.
I think mine was burlesque or bad romance.
I love bad romance.
Dirty
too.
little dances.
Dirty little feminist dances.
Okay. Rapid response. What are you most excited to share or see in the final presentation of the work? Emma Grace.
My haunting piece.
Rowen.
Everybody's brains melting at the amazingness of all of the work together. Audience brains, not us. Our brains are going to be safe.
Right. Emma Becker.
One of Jess's pieces is like my favorite thing in the whole project. She's just beautiful and incredible and amazing, and I can't wait for everyone to see it.
Which one of her pieces?
I believe it's the legacy one.
Vanessa.
I can't pick one. I can't wait to just share all these really spectacular humans with people. All of it.
I don't know how to pick one either. I'm really excited to watch our audience listen to Shamara's legacy piece because it really inspired one of my pieces, and her piece was stunning as it was crafted and came together. And our dances, just watching that we actually succeeded in being in tiny Zoom boxes and throwing caution to the wind and not giving a shit if we're on the wrong foot, which is hard for me too. And just dancing and like feeling ourselves. And man, I'm so excited about all that.
This is such a special group. And I can't wait to share the hard work and collaboration with the world. It's great.
Yeah. Well, thank you, ladies, for coming on, or not ladies, dirty little feminists. Thank you for coming on and being a part of the journey with us. You're amazing. And we can't wait for the final gathering of all of us in Kentucky to see this work.
I just appreciate all of you, and I'm so thankful that each one of you in your own way contributed what you did to all of this, to the tapestry that is this inaugural pilot of Bodies Amped.
Thanks for listening. For those of you new to the podcast, we are Voices Amplified, and you are listening to Voices Amped. You can check out our work or support us by visiting voicesamplified.net. Our work generates brave and equitable spaces for storytelling by underrepresented voices in dominant culture. We support and partner with organizers, thought leaders, and arts activists across the United States. Our team is me, Ellie Clark, and co-founder Vanessa Becker, as well as the incredible Dr. Margaret McGladdery and Jenny Benavides. You can follow us on Facebook or Instagram at Voices Amped. We love feedback, so shoot us an email at ellie@voicesamplified.net. That's ELLIE@voicesamplified.net. If you or someone you know would like to be a guest, reach out. As always, thanks for your support, and remember, be curious, be courageous, take up space, and make some noise.